Welcome to the second lesson on the TI-Navigator system. In the first video, we set up the software and the hardware, created a practice class, logged in, and took some student screenshots. You can review that lesson using the link provided below. In this session, we will continue with the practice class, starting with a quick review of the equipment setup, student logins, and then we'll see how to generate a simple quick poll. So let's get started. Start your TI-nspire Premium Teacher software. Make sure that Navigator is enabled. Connect your access point and start your class. Students need to make sure the Wi-Fi adapter is attached to the top of their calculator. If the student's calculator has been connected to the Navigator system previously, students can go straight to the login option from the home screen. Otherwise, from the home screen, select Settings, followed by Network, then select the network and tab down to Connect. The calculator will take a few moments to connect and then we're ready to go. Now, select Settings, this time select Login. Enter the username and password, tab down to Login, and if all things are going well, the message Login successful will appear. As a teacher, you are the network manager, and it's quite likely that some students may have forgotten their credentials. You can retrieve these easily by selecting the Class tab in the software. Double-click on the student that you need to help. For my practice class, the username consisted of the first letter of their first name plus the first two letters of their surname. I don't know the student's password, but I can reset it. You can also reset multiple passwords at once by either selecting multiple students or selecting the entire class. Then from the class menu, select Reset Student Passwords. Any student that is not currently logged in will now be able to create a new password for themselves. The Class tab is also a good place for the teacher to start as students log in. You'll notice that as their avatar becomes bold and coloured, then they've successfully logged in. If you have any new students to the class, you can add them, even if the class is already running. And we're now ready for our first quick poll. Quick polls can be initiated from the Tools menu or directly from the toolbar by clicking on the ballot box. There is a whole stack of options here. We'll explore some of them later, but for now, we're going to select Custom Choice. So, here's my question. There are 100 people in a room. 99% of them identify as loving mathematics. How many of these lovers of mathematics must leave the room so that 98% of the remaining people identify as loving mathematics? Now, you can either type the question directly or you can copy and paste it from, say, a Word document. Now we move down into the responses. For my first response, I'll choose 1. Then press Tab to enter the second response, which I'll say 2. To add another response, I can just press Enter, and I'll try 10. And enter once more, and let's put in 50. That's all the responses for now. To start the quick poll, just hit Start Poll. Every student that is currently logged in will receive this question on their calculator. On the software, you may have noticed that a new tab has appeared called Review. By default, the question, not student responses, is displayed. Now, this is extremely important. By doing this, we are avoiding what has become collectively known as the Hermione Granger effect, where the brightest student in their class puts up their hand and vocalizes their response, disengaging all other students. Which also means they effectively stopped thinking about our question. Or, more specifically, the answer to the question. By sending a quick poll, every student is called upon to answer the question. Furthermore, responses are anonymous with respect to their peers. As such, students are more likely to enter what they really think is going on, rather than just going with the majority. In the student data section, we see 2 pieces of information. Working simply means that they have initiated something on their calculator. Submitted means they've actually sent a response. But what are the students seeing? The quick poll interrupts students' current operations. Students may escape from the quick poll and perform some calculations if needed. Then return to the home screen and they'll see a new option, C, under the Scratchpad region, called Quick Poll. Students select their answer and use the document key to submit. Now, watch the submitted section closely. Avoid clicking on it until such time as all the votes are in. Now that the student data is in, we can hit Stop Poll and then select the student data. We didn't identify which answer was correct when we originally set up the quick poll, so now we have the opportunity to discuss the poll results with students. In this case, the majority of students have chosen the incorrect response. So, the discussion may lead to some students perhaps even wanting to change their mind. After some valuable discussions and learning, you can identify the correct response by performing a right mouse click on the correct response and obviously selecting Mark this response as correct. There are a number of ways to see who answered what, by hovering over entries or select the student icon in the review box. But remember, one of the advantages of a quick poll is that there's student anonymity. The students themselves know whether they got their answer right or wrong, and you can always return here after the class and save the results if you wish to. Well, that's all for our lesson on quick polls. We're going to return to some quick polls later in our series, but for now, you can hit end class and we'll catch you next time.